Welcome 2021. All right.
All right, here we go. All right, so hopefully you can see it on Facebook. If you can't, go to our Instagram immediately because it's working there. So thank you for being patient while we figured that out. Technology, right? The age of Aquarius, which is all about technology, which is what we're entering into, right? With this 2021. But we're really here to celebrate the year, the new year.
I know. We're so excited.
Yes, we are. So do you want to start? I mean... So,
I want to start how I normally start. Can I
do that.
She just lets me. She just says yes. Okay. So
true love.
Let's come together. So what this is really, this is intentfully kind of allowing ourselves to turn on, to open up, right? So I like to close my eyes. I'm going to close my eyes for a minute. And let's just take a couple of deep breaths. It's Monday. It's a Monday. We're kind of getting back to normal. We're going to slow down for just a couple of seconds, my friends. Let's take a deep breath. Let's notice our body. Breathing in and imagining that energy is coming from the bottom of our feet all the way up to the top of our head, and then all the way from the top of our head all the way down. If you notice any tension, any stress in your body, I invite you to just relax and let go. And in this surrendering and allowing ourselves to be fully present in this very moment, it's our way of saying, yes, I am open to all and any information and energies that the universe wants to give us. So just one more deep breath. Just allowing yourself to become fully present in this very moment. Slowing down and relaxing. When you're ready, just open your eyes. Let's come back together. Dive in. We got some fun, interesting stuff. I imagine many of you have an idea of what's coming. I'm holding the painting. Like, I feel special. I get to hold it.
So,
go ahead. Or can I show it?
Yeah, go ahead. You can show it. So we're going to show you the image. We're old school, so we don't even know about screen sharing yet.
No.
But here's the image. I am going to share it on our page. So, and honestly, I already created a YouTube video. It literally is an hour long about all of the intricacies of this painting. So, if you want to, please watch that after this. It's not up yet. It'll be up tonight. But anyways, lots of positive things. I know that 2020 was a challenging year for a lot of us because it was a lot was shifting. And, you know, Brenda and I connect with our guides, and, you know, they talk to us all the time about what's happening, and truly, just like everybody else, they tell us what we need to know in the moment, you know, and so unless we actually choose with the intention of our consciousness to look forward into the future, like we did for tonight's event, you know, we don't kind of dabble in that unless we want to, right? So...
Yeah. Or we need it, right? Let's be honest. Unless we need it, and
right?
They're like
when will this end?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So, you know, overall, this painting and even the messages that we're getting, even now in this moment, it's really it's hopeful. There is a lot more change going to take place, and so the theme here for 2021 would be learning to embrace change, right? And expecting change. I'm told exactly what to draw in the shapes and stuff, and I want you to understand that just like we're beginning to understand about sound and how different tones can stimulate change or growth or healing, right? Each line in each shape, they were sharing with me exactly like the length of each line they wanted me to draw. Right? The exact angle of each corner of the triangle. Because by doing so, it's able to hold a certain frequency and help bring in this energy that's going to help us kind of prepare for and kind of move through 2021. So, do you want to just start?
Yeah, of course. What do you mean?
Facebook feed is not working, so...
Oh.
I don't know how to do this. Give me 1 second. All right, get started. No, wait, what was that? Oh no, we don't want to do that. I don't know how to do that. All right. Just give us a second, guys. I know, right? We're perfectly imperfect. It's
Go live.
Oh, hey, I hit it. I hit the button. I never hit start. That's important. Hi.
Hi, there we are. Sorry,
Oh my gosh.
Facebook world.
We did it. We figured it out.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience.
So yeah, we figured it out. We just were getting started. We were just basically saying, welcome 2021. Lots going on for this year coming up, but very hopeful. And yeah, do you want me to just start?
Yeah.
Okay,
Please.
great. So overall, I have tons of notes. Like, see all these crazy notes that they were downloading to me. So this is more about, 2020 was about moving us into this new earth, okay? And so they wanted to say, this is what change looks like. Our psyche, we don't understand it, hence like these 4 birds, okay? 4 does represent like creation, like actual creation. It is also like the 4 pillars of or the 4 walls of a house. So it is about creating things and manifesting things in the material world, right? So they wanted to let us know right off the bat that there's going to be aspects to this that we don't understand. That's why they're silhouetted. Almost like we can recognize that they're birds, but they're flat. So we can really only see them as flat. Just like there's aspects of what's happening with all of this change that we don't fully understand. They were kind of describing it to me as like the purging of a forest. You know how like, hi guys, hi Sean. How like when you're purging a forest, they do that to create more nutrients in the earth, right? So they showed, the first image of 2021 was how part of a bigger picture, there is a purging happening or a cleansing happening within ourselves, basically letting go of things that no longer serve us, emotionally, things that are just moving us more towards an alignment of love, loving ourselves in a bigger way, and thus humanity and culturally and societally. That's a word.
So I want to pull that in a little more practical sense, because that tends to be how the messages come to me. So when we walk into our house and we want to reorganize it, let's say we want to make a lot more open spaces. We want to integrate new furniture, new clothes. That's what's happening. We have all, and this is what came through for me, was that we have all consciously chosen this, and some of us subconsciously. We are here for a reason because we collectively have said we are ready for this growth and this change, okay? So we go into our house and we notice to put these new clothes in, I have to get rid of some of the old clothes. To
make room for it.
Exactly. To put this new bed in here, I need to clean underneath my bed, and ooh, I had no idea those things were underneath my bed. That is going to happen in our culture. I invite everyone to think about this and to feel this, because there's so much more information coming through than the words that are coming out of my mouth. So systems need to be cleaned out. Relationships need to be exposed for their health or their dysfunction, either or. Okay? It's time to notice what is arising within us and all around us. It is time to take responsibility that we are creating the very world that we're living in. And that looks very different than how this society has been functioning for the last thousands of years. Okay? So just kind of normalizing that, and what does that look like in the everyday?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like the top half of the painting is kind of what's coming in, like the spiritual or energetic support for the entire year. And then below this triangle here is what that looks like on this level, like on this plane, on this earthly plane. Like, how does that manifest? How does this energy manifest? If you notice here, there's like 6 circles, and circles are like ideas, or, I mean, everything is a circle. So it's kind of like an energy hug. So there's the frequency of a 6 holding all of this together. And with that is creating balance between like the spiritual and the material worlds, right? In the number 6, just like Brenda said, is about taking responsibility. We don't share what we get, so it's always fascinating to us in this moment when we get to kind of like talk
Bring it
together. Because we're like, oh, all right, that was on. Great. Just validation that we're actually on target, which is always beautiful. But anyways,
6.
6.
Responsibility.
Yes, responsibility, taking responsibility. And I wrote it down. Here it is. Man, this is a doozy. Lots going on. But 6 also holds the energy of like unconditional love. Like there's so much love around what's taking place. For me, what I saw, this is the center of what's happening. And for me, what they were telling me that it was about power. That's hence the center here being the yellow circle, which is associated with our 3rd chakra. But power, and then also belief systems. So they were showing me how that with other planetary alignments, how that was going to create an obvious or a polarity between belief systems. We're going to see a lot of that continue into 2021, which is like a disparity between the wealth and the poor.
Kind of the opposites. You're going to see the opposites pushing and pulling at each other.
Right. And the control with that, the power of that, in our culture, it really has a negative connotation, but power truly is love when it's done with consciousness, right? When it's done with an integration of self. And that's what we're moving into, and that's why it's the central focus, because we're moving into how to handle power, how to hold power, how to like what that looks like in a personal ways, like how do you handle that, how do you handle people with different beliefs in you? We're seeing a lot of innocence with that, right? How do you personally handle if somebody disagrees with you? That's not an easy thing. Like, do they have a differing view? Do they want vaccines? Do they not want vaccines? Like, all of these things, what does that do with you? Because power doesn't mean dominion over somebody, right?
There's no hierarchy. And I want to dive even deeper into that and talk about parts of us that are opposites. Because of course, this is me. I want to talk about the interpersonal, right? What does that mean inside of us? When we begin to truly notice and slow down and say, oh my gosh, I have a part of me that wants the vaccine. I have a part of me that doesn't. I have a part of me that feels safe. I have a part of me that doesn't. Are these parts at war? Are they competing? Are they fighting for control inside of me? Or do I allow them both to exist and honor them and then love them? It's in that discovery, that power, that I say, you know what? I am scared. I don't know what's going to happen. And I choose to trust and know that all is well. I consciously make that decision. And I'm going to bring my fear with me because we're not enemies. We're friends. And I love all of my parts.
And that's what they're helping us move into, is that kind of relationship with the self. And that looks on the outside like that, right?
Like war, like
It
competition.
can look like that.
What do you mean?
It can just look as like conflict, right? We see it. We saw it in 2020, and they're saying that we're going to continue to see that in 2021. And the biggest thing that we can do, and here's the most fascinating thing about this painting, okay, to me, the solution is in here, right? To how do we deal with these competing energies, with what Brenda was just talking about. To me, the biggest thing that you see here is the triangle. I mean, it's like the primary focus, which is the triangle. Do you want me to hold it?
No, I'm okay. I just wanted to come.
She's working out her arms. This heavy,
I feel like
heavy.
Vanna White. Vanna White.
Yeah, there you go. Can I have a little? Little?
Little?
It was like a vowel
I don't know what
and
a
a letter.
little is.
I don't know. Okay, anyways.
So the triangle.
Can I tell you guys something, full transparency? I'm actually having to sit on pillows because I was too short.
I think there's 3.
Yeah, so just to be
She's
equal.
not actually this tall.
Well, she has a way higher chair. Anyways.
No, I do.
Anyways, this triangle. You can see here the center is the heart. Okay? There's a heart around this triangle. And this triangle is split up into two parts. You have the top part, which is orange, and then you have the bottom part, which is green and orange, and whatever. But so whenever you have kind of a diamond shape, it's kind of like what's coming in, like spiritually, and then what it manifests into. So this was all about handling your power. How we get there is by handling this chakra. Okay, when I say handling, I mean healing it, allowing it to function in a beautiful, balanced way. So a key piece for everybody this year is going to be the chakra, and that's the chakra in between your hips and your, it's where the womb is, right, for women. I don't know what the guys have there. Anyways, that part of the body, it moves, it's what moves forward. Anyways, it's the hips, it's what moves us forward. This year is about aligning our direction and our actions with that heart-centered space. Okay? Now, aligning, that's involved because that's saying, okay, yeah, I just have to do what I want. But there's so much more than that, because you might not even know what you want. You might not even know who you are besides a mother or besides whatever. You might not even know what is going on, or a father or a son. So it's really realizing and focusing in on whatever's coming up for you is appropriate, and honoring that, and allowing this same chakra also is the storehouse of emotions that haven't been resolved. So it's this moving forward, what's telling the story, right? What's holding your narrative? What's holding your belief system? This is how we move forward, is based on our belief system. So that's kind of why we started with that. And then learning to align our chakra or whatever with that of our heart, meaning listening to our emotions that come up. And I know that sounds like such a simple thing, because in our ego minds, we really want to act. Action is what power is. We always have to do and do and do. And this whole thing, this whole earth that's expanding and changing is all about, we're going to say this for years, align it with the heart. Go to the heart. Go to the heart. Because once you're aligned with your heart, and everybody is, and the more people that get aligned with their heart, it starts shifting our culture and our society in such beautiful, expansive ways that every choice and decisions made is based around compassionate action, which means it's based for like the benefit of all instead of the few.
So in fleshing that out further, I'm going to talk about we must go into the feeling space, right?
Yeah.
To get to the heart, we must become comfortable with whatever arises in our emotions. And like Wendy was talking about with the doing, we also need to get out of this space where we overthink everything, and that our thinking self makes the decisions instead of the thinking self with the emotions in alignment with the heart. Now really think about that for a minute. What does that mean when I allow all of my feelings to arise? This is something that we have not allowed yet in this culture. There's not very many of us who are living fully in that emotional space where we allow everything and anything to arise without judgment. So feeling and noticing that I feel both ways about something. I like it and I don't like it. Noticing what our feelings are even saying in every single moment. This is a different way of being, and we're moving into it. It's happening. It is. And that's what this is all about.
Because once you do this integration, and honestly, they're not just saying, hey, do this. Honestly, for those of you that are watching, they're just saying this will actually help you rise above the storm, okay? And I know that for those of you that follow us, it sounds like we're saying the same thing. But they say, specifically for this year, we're going to be moving through the chakra. That means people around you are going to be going through that storehouse of emotions, meaning like you're going to be playing old wounds that haven't been dealt with. You're going to be playing old stories. Situations are going to arise that mimic something that you haven't integrated, okay?
And this is great. This is good. This is fantastic, actually. We have the entire universe helping us integrate who we really are into every single moment. And guess what? We notice that things need to be repaired. We're going to repair some things this year. Isn't that great?
Yes, because they did say specifically the 6 circles also represent time, right? Like if you go into the 5th dimension, the 6th dimension, it starts representing time in a different way. And they were showing us that surrounding this, because of the frequency of the planet, you're now changing your history. By going back and doing these things right now, that's why everybody's doing that, whether we want to or not. Right? We're all like, all of a sudden I have a weird fear of water, and I don't even know. It's like a past life somewhere. I don't know. So it just allows us, they're saying we're not only changing our life this time, but we're changing our lives generationally. And like, depending on even, they're telling me this right now, because this is something I didn't get, but they're telling me that depending on where you live, you're helping shift the, you start holding frequencies that need to be cleared out of the land. Mm-hmm. So meaning if there's wars there, like for those of you that are empathic, if there's like energy that needs to be moved or shifted, you might take on some of that and just allow it to move out of your body to help heal the earth. It's like we're healing on a grand scale here. We're all in it. Yeah. Okay, ready for the next piece?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So as you move through this, so we were talking about this is like the main triangle, but how that manifests is that you're gonna, as you do this, you're gonna start feeling more love and joy in your life, right? They talked about how this is exponential. It's you're going to be in your sweet spot. The more you do this and cultivate this heart center space, you're going to have more love. And they showed this in this painting by having these 2 almost ethereal triangles next to it, and it's the only part of the painting that actually have these keystones, or these the very top of a pyramid. It's actually called the Benben stone. I know it's a weird word, but it's basically the top part of a pyramid. It's the first part that hits the sun, so it's very symbolic. And in this way, throughout Egyptology, they would say the Benben stone would be symbolic of the phoenix. So notice how you do this. You start bringing yourself heart-centered more into the earth, and then you have 2 energies of the phoenix, which is amazing, and 2 triangles next to it. So they talked about how that's how much support we have in transforming our lives this year. So it's all about following your passion, heart-centered passion, and how supported you will be in manifesting that for yourself this year. Do you want to add to that? I feel like I'm talking a lot.
I have a lot to say.
Yeah. I got a lot to say. I mean, thank you for bringing that up, Brenda. I know you didn't mean to bring that up, but this is what this year's about. This year is about everyone finding their voice. The key piece of this triangle here in dealing with this, notice how there's these 2 circles that are operating in the base of this triangle, and they're blue, which it's all about you finding and speaking your truth. Right? For you. You have to speak. Speaking is a huge piece of this. And no matter how, it's like Spirit talks to everybody individually in their own unique way. It has to come to me in math. And I know that's weird to most, but that's my own personal dialogue with Spirit. Like, I totally can see the divine in mathematics. So I can understand what they're saying, so they use that for me. So that might not be your thing. It might be color, it might be sound, it might be the wind. I don't know. But it's about whatever it is for you, cultivating that this year in a big, big way. And let me tell you, you're going to be forced to, because everyone's being moved to be integrated in this way. For those of you that are less heart integrated in areas of your life, maybe you hate your job and you're not doing anything about it. Well, unfortunately, it is going to start getting harder for for you. Not harder,
not
but
harder, more uncomfortable.
more uncomfortable.
To cause shift.
to cause shift.
That's the purpose of
To
pain.
cause shift.
Shift.
Duh.
Yeah. That's the purpose of it, right? This is why we are grateful for the discomfort, or this is how we might be able to move into that gratitude of the discomfort. So just breathe that in for a moment. Sorry, I keep touching that screen.
Yeah, because it keeps blacking out, so we're freaked out. So, what that looks like in a manifested way, they really wanted us to understand how truly on this, how we see it, we're really in a desert. Like, we're really going to see this age 100 years from now, and it's going to be like the Dark Ages. Just as we would if we look back 100 years from before, right? It's like, wow, how did they even survive? They didn't even have toilets, right? It's really, they want to express it like it's the desert. And here's the thing, we don't even know that we're thirsty or need water. So physically, what this looks like, this is really what we need. This is the water, right? And they're really showing us that it's like the desert out here. Like, we're really relearning how to bring the water. And this wave is about bringing this cultural shift, this spiritual shift that's happening on the planet. I typically put this in my paintings because it's symbolic of this time, okay? Of this great awakening. So it's important. And so, but you'll like this, Brenda. At the base, oh wait, this was amazing. So I was told to like add this triangle here on the bottom. And they told me very specifically how many centimeters. Did I tell you that they told me I had to use a metric system? They literally were like, no, you have to use a metric system. Your other, like the inches thing doesn't work. So I thought that was fascinating. Anyways, so this triangle, which is underneath the feather, is about...
Zoom that in just so that everybody can kind of see that.
It holds the master number 55, which is which I'm like, does that not speak for itself? I'm just joking. The master number 55, guys. Come on. I don't know. I had to look it up too. It's okay. It represents positive major change. So what this is going to look like, all of this happening on the planet for the year 2021.
Because keep in mind, 2021 obviously is a 5. So we know we're in this 5.
It is a 5. Oh, right. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a 5. So this is 55, which is just lots of positive change, okay? And just getting comfortable with that. It's also, the number 55 is, it's called something, Fibonacci. It's a part of the Fibonacci numbers, sequence of numbers. Basically, it's found in the golden mean, which is like the shape that's found throughout nature, and they don't understand why, but it's like a reoccurring symbol. It's like that shell, right? Like the seashell. Anyways, it's also in like leaves and branches and trees and stuff like that. So this
like every flower, yeah.
It's to me, this being 55 down here is like major change, positive change, right? And it's part of the sequence, meaning it's literally part of the natural process of growth for the bigger picture of humanity. And just because we don't understand it, right? Like there's some aspects of it that might seem flat to us, we don't see the whole thing. Just knowing, have a true knowing and surrendering in this everything is divinely guided, and this is all part of this process of expansion. Yeah, I want me to keep going. It's the volcano. The last thing is the volcano. Okay, you'll talk about this. But before we get to the volcano, up here in this major triangle, which is like the main thing up here, there's 22 different triangles within it, okay? And the master number 22 is about the master builder. So this year is about building building your life into whatever it is that you want and you desire. The closer you have that aligned to your truest desires, like your actual heart's desires, the more energy behind it. Does that make sense? Like the universe is going to support it. You have to see all of our faces everywhere.
So you know I want to talk about that, right?
Yeah,
so,
do that.
So listen, like that was probably the strongest message that came through for me yesterday. And again, we do not communicate with each other. She gets her thing, I say, don't talk to me, I'm going to go and get my own thing. That's probably the strongest thing, is it is time to take responsibility and choose. So here's the deal, guys. Whether you're aware of it or not, you are choosing your future. You are choosing what we all experience together. You are choosing it with your words. You are choosing it with your behaviors. What you do, what you say, that is creating our reality. It is time to know that. Now listen, this is an important thing for me, because I think this is a challenge for some. Choosing is not denying or avoiding anything inside of us. We do not deny or avoid. We notice and choose. I notice that I'm scared. I notice that I'm angry. And I'm willing to release the need to be angry. I'm willing to release the need to be afraid. And I'm going to take it with me until I feel safe again, until I feel at peace again. I'm noticing and I'm taking responsibility and I'm making a decision. You know, sometimes when I talk to people about this stuff, they're like, whoa, this feels like so much work. I've got to think about everything that I do and everything that I experience and everything that I say. And I'm going to just say, yeah. Yeah. And have fun with it. Don't worry about it. Just notice what you can notice. Allow whatever arises to arise. Spend time with yourself, though. Another way I like to put this is, how about falling madly in love with yourself? How about remembering and recognizing and behaving in ways that you cherish yourself? Knowing you are the most wonderful thing ever created. Can you imagine this? You are. We all are. And the only way I can even give that to you is because I can see it within myself, right? Choose powerfully. You are already choosing. I'm saying, hey, notice what purchase orders you continuously put out. What are you ordering right now? What are you ordering tomorrow, today? For connection, oh, it's fixed. Oh, I love the energy of that. I know.
You know, I did want to mention, because you brought it up in that thing, you know, in these two triangles that had the phoenixes, there is these two circles. And they were showing me how you, when you take care of yourself, like you're talking about, Brenda, when you take care of yourself, you naturally are going to build your compassion for others. Naturally. So in the beginning, when we were talking about the polarities of beliefs and what do you do if somebody has a different view, when you're taking care of yourself, you really just see that as part of their own story. It naturally happens. It's nothing you even have to work at. It literally is just, that's why they're really just saying, focus on yourself. Just do all of those things. And the world around you, within you, and outside of you is going to become more compassionate. The world will become more of a compassionate place. Love that. It's so great.
Right, and I mean, to me too, like, this is about integrating the how-to of it, right? We're not just being moved by these forces and this energy. It's time to integrate the how of it, which is this loving of the self, this how do we talk to ourselves. So what are we putting out there? What are we choosing? You know, Wendy and I talk a lot about having accountability with each other. Like, we love it. We'll be like, you know, that was kind of not nice that you just said that about yourself. You just put yourself down a little bit. Like, recognizing, oh, it was? Because when we flippantly make jokes all the time about ourselves or each other, and we don't mean anything, but you can tell the intent is meant to be just funny. And yet, is that funny if we're putting ourselves down in any way, right? I don't know if that was relevant or not.
No, it's just a work in progress, and that's the whole point. The whole point is not to create any kind of system where we can judge ourselves. We don't need more judgment, okay? It's really just about, what do we do with all these things that are coming up, right? What do we do with this stuff? Why is this happening? And this is why. We're evolving as human beings. We're learning to create and pull down more of our I am essence in our bodies. And that means becoming more aware of belief systems that don't align with that, right? Thought processes, feelings, all of those things that don't align with it.
Like behaviors, you know.
And that really is about this volcano.
The volcano in the 55. So you know that there's going to be some fire with the 5-5 change.
But volcano also represents the all elements. It's a volcano that is the earth. It is earth, air, fire, and water. You know, it is symbolic of having all of those things when you talk about tools. And so, just like the fires that we talked about in the beginning, a volcano also has a way. It is very destructive. It can be, right? But it has a function, and from its spewing, it creates regeneration, regrowth, and trusting in that. So even though they're saying, yeah, things are changing, it's hopeful. But as far as practicality goes and what that means in a physical sense, it's like, be grounded, the earth, be grounded in your knowing. Anchor down into, Spirit wants us to anchor everything we do with love. Is it love or fear? Is it love or fear? Right? What, and then air, you can do the other ones. No? You want me to? Because it just feels like just like the tools. So physically, they showed me, in my notes, I could totally show you, but in my notes they talked about how, remember when I was saying like the integration for people that have a, if there's an area of your life where you're not integrated, maybe it's a relationship you're not transparent with, that you are holding stuff back because you don't want to make waves. That's what we mean by non-integrated, right? That's relationship, let's say, for example, is just going to start getting uncomfortable. You're going to have to speak. That Spirit wants all of us to kind of talk. You guys, it must be somebody out there. Somebody will. But what was I saying? Somebody threw me.
No, we're being pulled a little bit. So, Wendy and I always think we have this exact beautiful plan, and Spirit just like pulls us aside and says, hey, so let's dive into some stuff over here. Which of course we always say yes to, right? Absolutely.
So they're moving us, so that means...
Yeah, so I'm being called to, I want to read, and I'll post this on both of our sites. I want to read what message came through. Because I want to pull through this energy, as I'm sure all of you know, I'm a healer. And I'm here to help. I'm here to help activate and integrate all of these beautiful new energies. So I invite you to feel what I'm saying. I don't even care if you think about it. Don't even hear the words that come out of my mouth. If you can really let go that much. I want you to feel this energy, okay? So dearest beings of light, so much has begun to change for you, and so many of you are aware of these changes. In so many ways, you are asking yourselves to take a deeper responsibility for yourself and the world around you. You are master creators. What you think, say, and do creates your future, and it is time to notice all of these nuances of the human experience on a deeper level. You are more powerful than you have ever been told. We are here to help you transition into the worlds and realities of your choosing. Are you ready to think big and dream even bigger? You deserve all good, and it is an option to choose these goodnesses for yourselves and each other. The end of victimization and unknowing is upon you, if you choose. Will you remember who you are and choose to ride the waves of these tumultuous times in the safe haven of our love for you? This is an option, again, if you choose to remember, practice, and integrate how loved you really are. Much is in the process of repairing itself, or what you like to call healing. Many things within your world have been in balance for a very long time, and you have all together chosen to shift out of these old paradigms into a greater awareness and remembering of who you really are. And who are you? You are descendants from all there is and ever will be. You are much, much, much more than you have ever been told by most of your religions and loved unconditionally. You are protected from all harms and cherished beyond measure. These are not just words, they are feelings and knowings we wish to impart within all aspects of your beings. To understand and accept the intellectual information of 2021 is not enough. It is time to practice faith or feeling safe. All is well and only good is happening. Much is changing as is designed for your highest and greatest good, and nothing bad is happening. It will appear this way to many that bad things are happening, as some of your systems are about to crumble and be exposed further for their dysfunctions. This is the year of the 5, and always the exact moment they would be exposed. Please do not be afraid or worry. You are in good hands. You are not alone and completely protected from harm. You are a part of choosing and manifesting the very changes you are cursing. Such is the human experience in transition. We honor you for being here in the exact right moment to shift this planet on the ascension process. Much in your personal lives are also being exposed and revealed for your conscious understanding and evolvement. Just as the world is changing and expanding, you are transitioning within yourselves as well. Are you willing to change and grow, to learn more, understand more, and know more? A simple yes will make it so.
Yes.
Yes. Let's say yes. I just get worried that it's like not, see how it's not on the screen? I don't know if the camera's working on that one. Oh, that's... See? Oops.
Sorry, guys.
We'll post that for Instagram land. Sorry.
We done?
I
know.
if you
Where
guys
did we
heard
go?
that. I don't know.
Sorry about that. That was nice. That's good.
You feel the energy of that?
Yeah. Totally.
So, listen, Wendy and I want to talk a little bit about what that means to us. We want to just normalize it and just really make it real. Like, what does that really mean? Like, I feel like we talk so much sometimes about all these, sorry, we're reading some of your messages. Thank you so much for sending, we're getting some we can see yous, and thank you so much for that. What does it really mean? Like, what do Wendy and I think? And as always, we invite you to just try on what we're saying. We're filtering through what we're getting in our own humanness, so we could just try it out, right? So for us, we talk a lot about how we know that there are certain systems that are about to be exposed, and we're aware that that is going to create doomsday prophecies from some people, and just kind of like holding the light for that and choosing love for that, and like honoring how uncomfortable it feels for other people, and just allowing these systems to be exposed. There's been so much conflict around the election and so much conflict around the politics lately, and one of the things Wendy and I hold to is like, listen, only good is happening. These things that have been going on, and I'm so grateful to this person for exposing all of these things. And either side, like if you know what I mean, if you're grateful for that, and we get to see, none of it's working, okay? These systems are unhealthy, okay?
And I really feel like as humanity, I kind of talked about that with power and control. Like being in this mindset of having like one view, like having an ultimate truth, or being right. If I'm right, then you're wrong. Brendan and I had an experience yesterday. I'm just bringing it in. Where we're very different, obviously. And I'm sure we all have to interact with people that are different than us. We love each other, obviously, too. But what that looks like, because in my own innocent way of thinking, and it's immature, and I know that's, I don't mean it in a judgmental way, I just mean young. in its evolution. There's parts of me that feel like, hey, if I see it this way, and like a child, I think that then everybody should be seeing it the way that I do, right? It takes maturity and wisdom to understand that somebody else could actually have a complete opposite experience than you do. Or even the way that I communicate with God, right? You know, when people are like, they can't see it in math at all, right? So I feel like we're moving out of that dominion of viewpoint, right? Where
it's only one way.
Where it's only one way. The Republicans are right. No, the Democrats are right. It has to be an integration. As much as we talk about integrating all of our parts, as a culture, we have to have a culture that also mimics what's going on internally, right? So it has to be integrated. It's about integrating all of these. How can we create a political system that's filled with compassion, of viewpoints? And I don't necessarily know what that looks like yet, but
and yet having the conversation, right, and having the conversation about all of the things that could be integrated with politics. And I want to bring that down to ourselves. What does that mean when we integrate all of our parts? This is to symbolize all of our parts. Because we have an intellectual, beautiful brain, right? We have a beautiful body. We have an emotional self. We have a spiritual self. We have a psychological self, right? Like, how do we integrate all of these parts together? Because mostly we're functioning separately. And that's literally what this is saying, is like, this is happening now. And some of us have already been on board with this, have already been practicing integrating, and some of us are very new to this. And isn't every phase just wonderful? Isn't this so neat? It really is. Because we get to choose what we experience and the life that we have together, all around us, and within ourselves. Slow down. Because even still, like, I can tell, like, we just start talking and then we just start thinking, and slow down. Lots of change. Lots of changes coming all around us. And you might have that same exact change going on within you. And you might not.
I really feel like the one thing that I would want you guys to take away from all of this is just how much we truly are loved and supported. Like, if there's one thing I could, like, just bestow to you.
Forget everything else we said.
Just how much loved and supported we are, and how we can't get this wrong. We, as humans, we like to explain and break it down and do these things, but that's not even necessary, right? I mean, it's not necessary, but we enjoy it, so, hey, we get to do whatever we want to. So, if I could bestow that, and with that, we get to decide, like, there really is, just like she was saying, there's, nothing bad is happening. It really is all helping and supporting us to just experience love more. Everything. And I know it's kind of like, it's, when you have a bad dream or you have a haunting dream or whatever, it's like your psyche, the parts of yourself that are like you've disowned or you've separated from or whatever. I'm not going to get into that. But my point is like, coming out of the dream, having wisdom, you understand that that's just a part of your psyche. So it's like, in this way, the world is just a reflection of the process of change. And the only way for our brains to read that is either A, we're going to see it as, wow, I have wisdom, I've been here before, and this is what change looks like, and I know everything's happening good for me. It's moving me into more love, and
I'm totally interrupting you a little bit.
Oh, you're shifting gears.
Well,
That's
no,
okay.
no, it's not. It's because it's this. Because even if we don't know that we're okay, even if we don't know...
Right, because we may not.
That the change is good, I invite you to practice for just a month. Practice choosing that the change is good. And then I invite you to notice how you feel, what you think, and to notice what arises simply because you powerfully chose to decide and know not because all of you thinks change is great. Oh yeah, this is so great. Oh yay. No. Listen, not all of my parts are loving everything that's arising right now. Isn't that neat? It's okay. And I choose intentfully every moment of every day to know that only good is happening and that only good is coming to me. Watch what happens.
It just really shifts everything as a gift, and you become grateful for it. And we're meant to know what that feels like. We're meant to know what it's like to be happy and joyful and like
Powerful.
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 New definition. Right?
Yeah. I want to take a moment and I want to honor all of you. And I invite you to feel my love for you. Because truly, I'm in awe of your showing up every moment of every day and choosing love, choosing to try. I'm in awe. So thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for just sharing yourselves with us and everyone. This is the exact energy that I choose for you and all of us in 2021. This is the choice that we have, that gratitude for all that is. So thank you so much.